Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me for a quick overview of a motorcycle. I am Travis Peters, and along with a walk-around video from YouTube, I hope to provide you with the basics of motorcycle operation. Without delay, let's get started. Well, before we even look at a motorcycle, we must discuss safety. The safety apparel listed here are absolute musts for new riders, and highly advised even for advanced riders. In addition to gear, it is also recommended that you perform what's referred to as a walk-around inspection of the motorcycle before riding, checking tire pressure, brake fluids, coolant, chain tension, throttle pop, lights, and any other small maintenance checks that can be performed. Preparation is key to surviving while riding a motorcycle. Now let's look at some basic motorcycle controls. The styles, exact locations, available options, and manufacturer's designs may provide far more or far less controls and gauges, but this can be used for a rule of thumb. In just a second, I will hand it over to a YouTube video to give you a real-time walk-around view of the typical control setup for what's commonly referred to as a sports bike. Going along with the list in the upper left-hand corner, number 1 is your clutch lever, which is used for engaging and disengaging the powertrain at stops and while shifting gears. Number 2 are the horn and blinker buttons. Methods of engaging and disengaging blinkers typically vary between manufacturers and even models, so become familiar with them before riding. Number 3, which isn't pictured here, is the gear shift lever. You operate this with your left foot, and its job, quite apparent, is shifting gears. Number 4 is the ignition. Here you put the key and select the run position before starting the motorcycle. Number 5 is the instrument cluster. This typically includes a tachometer, odometer, and speedometer, which is how fast your engine is running, how far you have gone, and how fast you're traveling in comparison to the road. Number 6 is the start kill switch. This provides an emergency shutoff if ever needed. Just below this rocker-style switch is the starter button, which is actually used to fire up the motorcycle once the on position has been selected. Number 7 is the front brake lever. Approximately 70% of your stopping force comes from the double caliper front brakes. Models may vary, however, and this lever may partially engage the back brake as well. Always apply pressure with caution when using the front brake due to forward momentum wanting to tip the bike over. Number 8 is the throttle grip. When twisted and let go, the throttle should snap back into place, ensuring the motorcycle will not get stuck accelerating. The throttle rotates towards the operator to increase fuel delivery to the engine, aka speed up. Number 9 is the rear brake pedal. It is operated by your right foot and is most efficient when applied simultaneously with the front brake lever. Caution should be used to not lock up the rear tire in moments of distress while riding by panicking and smashing down on the rear brake pedal. Now let's go to my YouTube friend's video to view his Triumph 675 for a real-time view of controls on a sport bike.
Also my first, but I recommend starting with something like a Ninja 250 if you're really in it for the learning experience first. Now we're gonna do a quick walk around the bike and talk about all the nice button and lever functions. Okay, so on your left side you should have your mirror, clutch lever, a horn button, which is the red one down here. I'm not gonna press it. Your turn signal, and your high and low beam switch. There is also a pass button which will flash your high beams. Also on the left side you'll have your gear switch lever, I think that's what they call it. The standard pattern is right here. 1, half a click into neutral. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You pull the lever up to shift up. You pull the lever or push the lever down to downshift. I guess, yeah, it's locked. So yeah. On the right side you'll have your right mirror, your front brake lever, your throttle, which is the most important thing you'll probably want to know, your engine cutoff switch right here, and your starter button.
Okay, welcome
Also
back.
on the right side.
Next is probably the most difficult skill for a learner to master, and the most important skill for any rider to master. Using the clutch lever. It is used when starting, stopping, or changing gears. How much force you squeeze this lever with determines if the engine's power is being delivered to the powertrain, and if so, to what degree. In other words, it determines if you go anywhere or not, and how smoothly you do or don't get there. The best way to master the clutch is to get in an open parking lot and practice what I refer to as rocking chairs. The idea of this drill is to find the friction point, or the amount of squeeze where the engine begins to connect to the drivetrain and the motorcycle starts to creep forward. Practice this by standing still with the clutch fully engaged, aka squeezed flush with the handlebar, starting the motorcycle, selecting first gear, and slowly releasing the clutch lever until the motorcycle begins to move. It is important to never fully disengage, aka release, the clutch while the bike is running in end gear, or it will lurch forward rather violently. Re-engage the clutch and rock the bike back to its original position. Repeat this exercise until you can easily find the friction point and smoothly repeat this drill. Now that you know how to go, we better discuss stopping soon. I've already mentioned a few braking principles, such as simultaneously engaging front and rear brakes, but here are a few more pointers for braking situations. Again, the key here is to practice and always err on the side of extra cautious when approaching new situations and conditions. It is always far safer and cheaper to pull over and find solutions to problems than waiting until a serious issue arises you can't fix, like laying the bike down. Here we have the two common types of shift levers found on motorcycles. The top picture, and variations of this style, are more common to what is referred to as a cruiser, or typically a Harley-type motorcycle. The bottom picture illustrates the typical sport bike shift lever, as you saw in the video. The number of gears varies between motorcycles and manufacturers, depending on riding intentions, engines, and wheel size, so become familiar with your shift pattern before riding. The most common shift pattern is listed here, and was shown in the video as well. With the innovativeness of our society and the technology now available, the automatic transmission has finally been successfully integrated with a motorcycle by Honda, rendering a clutchless and shiftless motorcycle. Also, as previously mentioned, some motorcycles have what is known as linked brakes, where the rear brake is partially engaged anytime the front brake is used. Many types of scooters also exist, where none of these controls or locations would apply. Motorcycles are naturally more fuel efficient than vehicles due to their lack of luxury components. They also typically run on premium gasoline needed for higher compression ratios. It is also very easy to be enticed by the sound and thrill of riding to, well, let's say, ride aggressively, which can dramatically decrease fuel efficiency. Here is a quick opportunity for you to jot down a few must-acquires before riding your motorcycle on the street. These things include legal requirements, strong safety suggestions, tips for beginners, and should only be heeded by those who plan on occupying or owning a motorcycle for any span of time longer than 2 seconds. Finally, and most importantly, always ride safely. Ride at your own pace, no matter what other bikers and cars do. You will get to the exact same place as long as you do that. Stay aware of all other vehicles, because they may not be aware you even exist. Familiarize yourself with any motorcycle before riding it. Your horizon of view is 12 seconds, so keep your space. Always wait until your tires warm up before riding them hard. Keep your motorcycle maintained, and don't delay on those little things like tires and oil and chains, or it will come back to haunt you or possibly kill you. And if this disclaimer hasn't discouraged you by now, be prepared for the best time of your life, because there is absolutely nothing else in this world that feels like riding a motorcycle. Ride safe out there, and thanks for watching. And also, a big thanks goes out to the following sources of media used in this video.